Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a Bible art journal page with something I have been struggling about, and you're going to see kind of something a little different in this video. What I started with is not what I intended to finish with, and it was a lesson that I think God was trying to reveal to me. Anyway, I am focusing on that scripture right there. It's something that I have been kind of struggling with, probably why this digital art spoke to me so much. And I have some new fun stuff that I want to show with some acrylic paint. So instead of doing a clear gesso background, I decided to do a white one. And the reason is because I had a couple marks on the edge of my paper that were colored, and I didn't want those on this page. Usually I don't care, but for this particular page I did. So I'm just gonna use a white gesso, and I wanted to have the words still shine through, so but I still needed to really pull in that gesso. So I went ahead and kind of brushed it off over the lettering there. And then that is the digital art that I'm going to use. And I have some new fun paint from Art by Marlene, which is the reason why I had to gesso the surface, is because I'm going to use this paint. And what I love about her paint is not only are the colors really vibrant and intense, and I'm also going to be using that, they also, I love the way that they dispense out of the bottle. I thought, I think I want to try something. So right now I'm just trying to pull all of my stuff together to make sure it all is cohesive and it matches. Sometimes in my head I think it works, but I really like to be able to just see it like that as I'm staring at it going, okay, I think that's going to work. I have used the Art by Marlene paints before and I love them, but I've never used this set. So I wanted to just create a background in which I was able to test them out on the paper and see the colors, but also not only leave them as a sample, but use them in my artwork. One thing I like about acrylic paint is once they dry, they almost dry to like a plastic. So that means that you can layer them up and they won't mix. But while they're still wet, they will mix. So as you can tell right there, I got a little bit of blending, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I do need to go through and dry it with my heat set tool. And this takes no time at all. In fact, between each layer, I end up drying it with my heat set tool. I really like actually how this looks at this point, but I'm committed to wanting to see how all of these colors look. And so I'm like, nope, I gotta just, I gotta throw it on there and let's just see what we get. So this is kind of a funky, fun way to do a page. And like I said, I really like the nubs on these, how they come out of the bottle. I like the tips. Not only does it make it fun if I wanted to like do some doodling or some writing with it, but it also keeps your paint from drying out. So I really appreciate that about this. I do have these listed for you down below, as well as everything else that I can find for you. So make sure you check out those links. And I'm gonna put on a little bit of music as I finish this up.
The storm, you keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink. And now I trust your gentle hand, even when I can't understand. I know your voice, I'm not afraid, walking with me at the companion, my confidant. You will be true when I am not, and when I give you my injuries. Through your grace, I find your peace, and now I trust your gentle hand, even when I can't understand. I know your voice. I'm not afraid. Walking with me at the same pace, and now I trust your gentle hand, even when I can't understand. I know your voice. I'm not afraid. Walking with me at the same pace.
So at this point, I'm liking what I'm seeing, but I want to ground it a little, and that's why I pull out that white gloss spray. The white gloss spray is really awesome. It's another type of acrylic, so when it dries, it actually will not blend. And so you can just keep layering on as many splatters or sprays as you want, and it won't blend. It'll hold true, and it's a really cool effect. Now, I'm going to do something here in a minute that may cause you to gasp, but hang with me, because as I finish this up, you're going to notice that, well, it does not match. It's too busy, it's too dark, and so I decide that I want to go ahead and white gesso over the whole thing instead of trying to make it work. And I am the queen of trying to make it work. And right here is when I realized, holy cow, sometimes in life, God has something that is so beautiful for us, but we can't take it because we have so much of a mess and so many things that are overwhelming us that it just doesn't work. And so he needs to take and wipe us clean and cover us with his blood and cover up all of our mess. And then he can add into our lives with what he wants, which is so much better than if we would have just stuck with what we had. So that's why I opted to start over on this. And I really still wanted those letters the words to shine through. So after I got done gessoing over the whole thing, I took a little bit of water and wiped it up. And then once this was all dry, and you can still see, I did tone it down a bit so that you can still see some of that background popping through, which I was a little bit leery of, and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work, but in the end, I really like it. So I'm just taking some Stickle glitter gel at this point, and I'm going to smear it across all of this page, and it ends up looking absolutely awesome with how this whole thing turns out. I really like how this whole thing turned out in the end. I was a little nervous too, but once I finally made that decision that all that hard work that I had put into it, it just wasn't what I wanted, and I covered it up, I felt so much better. And y'all, right now in my life, I'm even doing my Bible study every morning. I'm in the Word, and I feel like sometimes I'm still trying to do what I want to do for God instead of just opening up myself to having God do through me what he wants. It's like I'm trying to base it on the Word and whatnot, and I'm ending up with that mess where, yeah, it's kind of pretty, but God can't take it to the next level because I'm not trusting him enough. I'm not handing over my life and letting him cover me and work with me and letting go of things so that he can move in my life and he can create a beautiful life that is a testimony for him. I'm so busy trying to go, okay, God, I'm praying for this. It's not in his will, but I'm still trying to force my way with it and make it in his will, because it's like, what? I'm praying over it. How can you not like bless this? Why am I still in this mess? And I'm missing the entire point, which is I have to pray and let go. And it's hard. And I'm still doing it. As I'm recording this video, I'm thinking of areas in my life that I am still doing it, y'all. I'm still doing it. I'm still trying to have my way while also, praying and asking God to bless it. And it's like, no. I have to go through and let God white gesso out the stuff that I had, so that he can give me something even more beautiful. And that's what this page also represents to me, is just that transformation process. I am using a really great sealer. I like the Dina Wakley stuff that I've used in the past, but this stuff is really good too. It's through Ranger. I'll link it. The Dina Wakley, I like to hold off when I'm using a heavy type paper that I'm collaging. This is more of a little bit higher grade than a regular copy paper, but it's thin, so I don't need to use that. This medium works really great, so I thought, let's give it a go. And even did you see the peak of that on the back there? Even with all that stuff that I just put down, it is not leaking out onto the other side, which is super cool. And I got this page pretty saturated. All right, so at this point, I need to wait for everything to dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my date on here. And I realize that it's not quite dry yet, and I have to go back through and dry it again. I don't like to work with just one. I have to have multiples of things, but I can't do even. So I end up always stamping more than just one, usually 3, 5, or 7. There we go. So I want to put on some finishing embellishments. I encourage you to go into your stash and find the primas or flowers that you already have. These pieces are probably 10 years old. They're by Queen & Co. And why would I go out and buy something when I have it right there in the stash? This glue that I'm using, by the way, I've been using it for a while. It's by Studio Lights. It's really good. I'm going to link that down for you below as well. And then I do want to ground this a little bit, even though I'm loving the color combo of the whole thing. So I'm doing a little bit of some black liquid pearls. If you ever want to ground your art, always use black or white dots somewhere, and it just helps the eye settle down. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you enjoy content like this, please do so. Give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time.